Good morning, everybody. Welcome to LightFair 2018. I'm Ganesh. I work for Eaton. Today we are showing here LumaWatt Pro, part of our connected buildings platform. And what LumaWatt Pro is really geared towards is solving higher value problems for our customers. So traditionally, Eaton and other lighting companies have played in the energy savings and LED retrofit arena. But what we enable our customers to do with LumaWatt Pro is really solve higher value complex problems. So I'll start by defining some problems and then show you guys how we help solve those problems. So if you take healthcare, for example, if you look at it, hospitals at any given time carry anywhere from around 35,000 SKUs of different kind of equipment which they have to constantly maintain and constantly find. So it becomes a huge capital expense and operating expense to buy this much equipment and maintain it. The next really is that in hospitals, patient rooms and exam rooms are really called as revenue generating rooms for the hospitals. So hospitals want to ensure that they use these rooms to their maximum output. So for example, a patient room, they want to ensure that the patient room is 100% utilized. Typical utilization rate in exam rooms and patient rooms are below 50%. If you look at industrial facilities, the problems are slightly different. Every time a picking error occurs and something is shipped out wrong, a company not only has to pay for the shipping cost and the replacement shipping cost, but also the time involved in processing a bad shipment and a replacement shipment is a lot of productivity issue. And the last problem we kind of hear from our manufacturing and industrial clients is really around lost time in productivity and in downtime in manufacturing. If we hear constantly around the news as car manufacturers can't afford the car's manufacturing process to slow down at all. They want to maximize how many cars they produce and how many they deliver. So that's really is that to ensure manufacturers have a good way to understand what their processes are and to optimize and improve those processes. So what we are showing here is LumaWatt Pro. What LumaWatt Pro is a collection of integrated fixtures with smart sensors built into it. We have over 30 fixture families, over 9 brands, which Eaton offers with integrated fixtures. So the gateway really collects data from all the sensors and pushes it to the energy manager. The energy manager processes all the data and then pushes it to the cloud, where value-added applications like Space and Where, we'll show shortly, are run to provide insights to our customers regarding how their space is used and how to track and better use their assets. So this is our first dashboard, which is our energy dashboard. And what we're really showing here is that how customers really save energy. So if you look at the blue bar at the top, that's how a baseline energy usage after LED retrofits. And then what we have done is applied different control methodologies to really maximize energy saving. So the first blue bar is how task tuning. So what task tuning really means is we have brought down the maximum light level from 100% down to a level which is comfortable for the users in the space. And that really maximizes energy savings. Then the yellow bar is where if you have a source of natural light in the space where you have sunlight coming in, the sensors really adjust the lighting based on how much sunlight is coming in and give you additional energy savings. And then it's the green bar. If the space is not occupied, if you're manually setting scenes, or if you're switching lights off when you don't need it, that's really based on occupancy and demand driven. So really what that does is it reduces energy consumption even further. Finally, the orange bar really indicates how much energy usage is actually really used in a space. So here, this example is actually our campus in Peachtree City. And what really I want to highlight here is that after beyond LED lighting, we were able to save north of 70% in energy savings in our campus in Peachtree City. The next thing I want to show you is how we collect and process this data. So here you see how we collect the raw data. I talked earlier about how the sensors not just collects occupancy, but also collects data about space utilization. So each one of these red dots is actually the sensor collecting data. The sensor actually collects data greater than 60 times a second, and every one of these red dots really is somebody moving in the space. So the next is we use that raw data now to provide insights to our customers. So first, what you see here first is our occupancy heat map. Really, if you look at it, the dark reds are where the high utilization rate is, and if you look at the perimeter, there's a lot of unutilized space. So it's a very quick view of understanding how your space is really used and what your high utilization areas are. So the next visualization I want to show here is our motion trails. So what the motion trails really show us is how people are moving within a space, what routes are most used. It really helps identify a couple of different use cases. If you have a tenant in your building and you want to understand how carpet wear and tear is, you can really understand what your high utilized paths are really quick by looking at this visualization and go do maintenance. If you're in a retail space and if you really want to understand where to place your high value displays so you maximize your return on investment, really it helps you quickly understand, hey, this is where customers are spending most of the time, and you can place your displays accordingly. If you look at industrial spaces, if you want to identify how your forklifts move within a space and really optimize choke points, it again gives you a very quick way to access that insight and optimize how your space is used. The next visualization I want to show you, which is kind of key important, is it shows how your space is really used. So what this visualization is really showing us, the greens are the highly utilized spaces, the yellows are medium use spaces, and the reds are the really underutilized spaces. So on this floor, when the snapshot was taken, you can see at around the reds are really around 30 to 40% of the space is underutilized. So really what underutilization means is either there's nobody in the space, or if there are 5 people supposed to be in the space, really one person is in the space. Really, so what it gives companies is a quick way to understand, hey, I'm adding 10 more people to my company. I can quickly identify where those 10 people can sit and work and really save cost on further expansion and get a quick return of investment from the system. So the next thing I want to show you guys is the space dashboard. So what the space dashboard really gives you is not just at a floor level, but even at a building level or a portfolio level, really operations executive or a facility manager can really quickly understand how their space is used. So what you quickly are seeing is average utilization by category. So if you have like conference rooms, if you have open offices, you have open cubes, you can really quickly understand what your utilization rate across your building or your portfolio is by category. You can also understand by building how each of the buildings are being used and what the average and peak utilization of each building is. So if you have a business unit is asking for more room, you can quickly log on to the software and understand, hey, this building has more space, why don't we hire people and place them in that building versus where a business unit is really asking about. The next is we talked about hospitals trying to maximize their patient and exam rooms. So what really here the software is showing is that you can categorize your rooms by patient room, by exam rooms, by different type of rooms. And at any given time during a day or during a week, you can quickly identify how many rooms are really used and how many rooms are really available. So if a nurse comes to you and say, I don't have enough patient rooms or exam rooms to really service patients, you can quickly identify where the rooms are available and really repurpose those rooms for those needs. So what we are showing here is the asset tracking capability. This is one of our asset tags which you can put on equipment like wheelchairs and IV pumps in hospitals and other high value mobile assets which hospitals want to track and maintain. What you're really showing is on a hospital floor where endoscopes, wheelchairs, IV pumps are tracked in real time. So whenever a nurse needs an equipment, she can quickly log on to the software and say, hey, I need an endoscope. Here it is. It's not being used, so I can go grab it and service my patient. If you want to quickly identify if you have an emergency situation and you want to identify a doctor quickly and get them to a patient, you can quickly log on to the software and find where a particular doctor is and bring them to the patient and examine. So really increases productivity of your staff as well as maximizes your asset utility. So we talked earlier about how hospitals carry over 35,000 SKUs of equipment and how they constantly have 30 to 40% overage in equipment. So what really this visualization or dashboard shows is how each category of equipment is really used and how much it's used. So quickly hospitals can identify, like for example, here if they want to identify, hey, I have 30% more IV pumps, but I'm not really using it. So they can either reduce the inventory of IV pumps, or next time they have to purchase more, they really take a look at, hey, do I really need more IV pumps, and purchase accordingly. So ultimately how it all comes together is that when a customer like a hospital facility or a healthcare facility puts LumaWatt Pro enabled fixtures in, what really they get is they first get the energy savings from LED retrofits and controls, but they also get the ability to future-proof their installation. Most hospitals and healthcare facilities are now investing in other real-time location systems to improve their staff productivity and track how their patients are moving within the space. So really what LumaWatt Pro gives healthcare facilities is the ability to deploy that infrastructure at the time when lighting infrastructure goes, and really save a magnitude of cost in not deploying a separate system or infrastructure to do real-time location systems. And what it all gives is that it gives the hospitals improved patient care, improved staff efficiency, lower operating and capital expenses. For more information on LumaWatt Pro and other connected lighting solutions, please visit eaton.com/connectedlighting.